I'd like to welcome everybody to the January 19th, 2023 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
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 Are there any conflict of interest statements?
Nothing.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of January 5th, 2023 and January 12th, 2023.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Number 5, bid openings, I see none. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. That's nothing. Move on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from Dean Button, Capital Improvement Board, requesting $14,032.69 of CIB funding to be allocated for the J.F. Mahoney Drive supplemental construction with Milestone Contractors North submitted for approval. Hi, Mark.
Hi, I'm standing in for Dean. He's at a meeting this morning, so he sends his regards. And that is, my understanding is, when the CIB board of originally allocated money for it, there was a shortfall. So they just went back and received the $14,000, and it's all in line now with the contract price.
Gotcha.
So I recommend approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mark? I will make a motion that as long as Mark is not going to hoodwink us, I will approve this as presented in our packet.
Second.
Nice. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting approval of the resignation of probationary officer Peter Krbabich, effective January 16, 2023, and the petition for retirement of Sergeant Derek Thompson, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 29 years, to become effective at the close of business on June 24, 2023.
I will make a motion that we approve Chief Short's request.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, correspondence received from Felix Gonzalez, Director of Public Works, requesting approval to place no dumping signs at 6235 Monroe and 216 Ogden, as they are empty lots. These are empty lots. Anything about that?
Just noting that these are both properties owned by the city.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I will make a motion that we approve the request.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Correspondence received from Nees Engineering requesting advertising dates of January 26, 2023 and February 2nd, 2023, with a bid opening of February 16, 2023 for the 2023 Hammond Sidewalk program submitted for approval.
So this was a 2022 going into 2023. We are actually rebidding this due to the fact that J.J. No can't hold their prices because of the flux of the cost of concrete last year. So they requested it being rebid. They couldn't sign off on it for another year. And Mr. Moore from Nees Engineering is in the audience representing Nees. So I would recommend approval. Thank you.
Okay, I will make a motion that we approve Nees Engineering's request.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, correspondence received from Summerhill Law Firm requesting the approval of the proposal to prepare and submit the application to the U.S. Marshal Service and negotiating out-of-cycle economic rate adjustment for Intergovernmental Service Agreement IGA number 21-01-0046.
Mr. President and Board, good morning. I believe it's from the Summerhill, all one word, law firm. Mr. Summerhill is a attorney and consultant that works with the Marshal Service. This has to do with the jail and our per diem. The advantage to the city and the department is that this is there's no cost to the department to have them undergo this. If he's successful in increasing the per diem due to inflationary issues and other matters that would allow for the increase in per diem, we will simply pay him a fee based on that increase for a period of time. So it's really of no risk. I'd recommend its approval.
Okay.
Okay, I will make a motion that we approve the Summerhill's request as presented in our packet.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, correspondence received from Kelly Voris, HC3 Event Committee, requesting permission to hold the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 17, 2023, Friday, what did I say, February? Friday, March 17th, 2023, with a startup at 5:30 at Harding School, traveling west to 165th Street, north into Kennedy Avenue, and ending at 161st Street. Additionally, requesting EMA and police escort for a rolling street closure for the parade and barricades to be placed at all cross streets and alleys along the parade route. Hi, Donnie.
Good morning, Mr. President,
Morning.
board members. Yes, I've also talked to them. I've met with them at their last meeting. They came up with a route. I know Councilman Rakos is also here. We're aware of it. We should be good to go pending your approval.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll get this over to police and
Police and fire, and then
EMA. Well,
Public Works for the barricades and stuff.
okay. I will make a motion that we approve HC3's request.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Letter G, correspondence received from Larry Fentress, Parade Chairman, requesting permission to hold the Hammond Mohawks Memorial Day Parade on May 29, 2023, with parade route attached.
Same thing, Mr. President and board members. Same route. Everything should be good to go pending your approval.
Thanks, Donnie.
I will make a motion that we approve Mohawk's request.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Number 8, matters from board members. Either of you have anything? No? Number 9, under new business, letter A, supervising hospital agreement with St. Mary Medical Center and Hammond Fire Department submitted for approval.
Good morning, Board. I know that Mashiach is here, and okay, so when St. Margaret's closed, St. Margaret's always has hospital control. What that means is, like, there's a direct line, I think, from, Danny can come up here and explain. It's something that's required, and this is just going to transfer it over to St. Mary's, but I'll let.
Morning, Board.
Morning, Danny.
So being an EMS provider in any municipality throughout the state, you have to have a medical control. And basically, our choices were St. Mary's, Methodist, stay with Franciscan, or St. Anthony's Crown Point in our area, in our region. And the fire department and the city decided to go with St. Mary's because that's community health care. We're cutting our ties with Franciscan after not being able to have it in Hammond. We've talked, Jeff Marzak was handling this, and then I kind of got brought into it, but being a paramedic, everything's going to transition smoothly, hopefully by March 1st. All we're doing is signing a contract with them. There's no monetary funds exchanged. You just have to be contracted with a medical control facility, which would be St. Mary's. So when our ambulances get rid of narcotics on a patient, someone will have to drive to St. Mary's to get it versus going to St. Margaret's now. So it's a headache for us, but this is a simple process to switch over. Just a lot of us turning our drugs into Franciscan and getting our new drugs from St. Mary's. So pretty cut and dry. We signed the contract. We still have to get it signed by their medical director, and we'll be good to go.
Okay.
So with your guys is okay, and obviously council should be all good.
Yeah, we'd recommend its approval based on what's been presented and the need to obviously have medical control for our EMS department.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will make a
Thanks, Danny.
motion that we approve the hospital agreement with St. Mary Medical Center.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, notice of violation hearing for property located at 1434 Sherman Street.
Actually, Board, this is supposed to be a demo hearing that was continued from 2 weeks ago. They had requested a new date.
For that same address you're talking
Yes,
about?
for that address, 1434 Sherman.
Great. Look who's here, Mr. Decker. All right, so 1434 Sherman, we'll show the board some photos of the condition of the property. There's a hole in the roof. If I'm not mistaken, there's been some issues with animals as well, some dead trees, things like that. Adam, you have any problem with me giving that to the board? Rich, when were those photos taken?
Those were taken 2 weeks ago. If I remember correctly, though, when we had the flood in that area years ago, this property was damaged. It's a slab home that got flooded. There was a lot of damage, interior cabinet. The kitchen was totally destroyed, and water was like 3 feet tall inside the unit. The family has left the unit and hasn't done anything since then.
It looks like it, but it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, the giant tree in the back fell onto it.
It looks like that post is going through the roof, too. There's a post in the middle there?
That is the weatherhead. for the electrical lines.
So it's not going through, it's just coming from the roof?
It comes up the side of the building and through the edge of the roof.
Oh, gotcha.
In the eaves for the connect to the alley. But that's been bent and damaged also.
Okay.
So it's my understanding, obviously based on the condition of the house, we'd like the process to move forward. Mr. Decker represents the tax sale purchaser. The board's familiar. We go through this a lot when we have tax sale purchasers. And, you know, they have to be aware of the fact that things are on the demolition list. That there's a demolition order potentially when they buy it. In this case, there's no order yet. And as the board is also aware, we have a process. The next point in the process would be to bid this out, which would take 6 to 8 weeks anyway.
Right.
Mr. Decker has informed me, and he'll obviously have a chance to speak to you in a second, that the hearing on the tax deed is set for end of January. I think it's next week or the week after. And, you know, if things go smoothly down at county, he'll probably have a deed by April, you know, being honest. He's indicated that he does want to rehab it. Obviously, we haven't done an inspection. That would be a requirement. You know, my request to the board would be to affirm the order of demolition as presented based on the condition of the house and Mr. Castro's testimony. And of course, that would then allow us to bid it out, which would take some time. Mr. Decker could then, during that time, hopefully have his client come in, pay the inspection fee, and if he's serious about rehabbing it, which it seems that he is, that would at least give us an opportunity to work with him.
Good morning, Board. My name is Adam Decker. I'm an attorney. My office is at 10200 Broadway in Crown Point. Everything that Mr. Smith has indicated is correct. My client is the purchaser of the property at the tax sale that was held in 2021. And so there's a 12-month period of redemption. My client has filed a petition for tax deed, which the circuit court is going to hold a hearing on January 26th. I believe everything's in order to allow the tax deed to allow for transfer of title to my client. I've spoken to my client. They do indicate that they want to rehab and make the necessary repairs, but their hands are somewhat tied at this point because they don't have legal ownership to the parcel. So I think it's correct that the tax deed could be issued perhaps sometimes in April. We're not certain the court will issue the deed when it has the opportunity to do so, but I do think a tax deed will be issued. And I would request perhaps rather than moving forward with a demolition order, I'm not certain what that time frame is. Of course, my objective is to avoid any action to demolish the property to give and afford my client an opportunity to make those repairs. I think initially, in looking at the notice of violation, it appears that several of the items have to do with, for example, a missing window, some of the exterior is in disrepair, rank weeds and vegetation, and I think some of those things can be addressed immediately, but then perhaps the more significant items, lack of an electrical meter or a gas meter, that would require obviously permits from the city before any real work is done to rehabilitate the interior. So I would anticipate that that work would probably get started sometime in the spring after the tax deed has been issued, and so I'm simply here requesting additional time to allow that to happen, to allow that process to occur.
A couple notes, I guess, in response. A couple things that I think Mr. Decker and his client could do. I believe the tax deed statute does allow exterior access. And Mr. Decker could correct me if I'm wrong. We've had other tax deed purchasers clean up the outside just to make sure it looks nice. Obviously, in the winter, we don't have to worry about growth and things like that. The other thing is, and I want to welcome Mr. Kearney back to work and to the board, obviously. His presence here is always appreciated. He reminded me that one thing that the tax sale purchasers have done in the past is to pay for that inspection, like now or in advance, so that $150 is then in the system. They know that we need an inspection. The inspector will contact the tax sale purchaser. Those two can keep updated as to the status of the deed. As soon as the deed's issued, the inspection can get scheduled. That'll also note in Zone Pro the fact that we won't go forward with issuing the demolition permits, even though we might bid it out. So again, I would, I have no reason to disbelieve everything that Mr. Decker indicated. However, the board is aware that we have, dozens of these a year, hundreds of these over the last several years. And the fact is that everybody has good intentions, but if we don't keep the process moving forward, for those that intentions may be best in, they have the best intentions, but you don't have the money, you don't have the funds, you don't have the wherewithal. And sometimes it's big banks, right? They say they want to do something and they just ignore us. So my preference is to let the process play out, move it forward, and then, of course, we'll work with Mr. Decker's client if he is, in fact, interested in moving forward to rehabbing the property, because that's our goal. We don't want to knock them down. We want to rehab them if we can. So.
Yeah, Mr. Decker, you understood you have 4 to 6 weeks to get the rehab agreement signed and get the inspection done. So you have that much time to get that done without fear of this being bidded out. It's going to take at least that amount of time. So we prefer to move forward. As Attorney Smith said, we've had many of these where we've heard the good intentions, and later on we realized we should have kept moving forward. So that's why we just, choose to do that. So.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
All right, I will make a motion that we affirm the order to demo the property at 1434 Sherman Street.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Decker.
Thank you.
Letter C, garage sale permits submitted for approval.
All right, I will make a motion that we approve the garage sales.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 10, old business, letter A, status 7235 through 41 Calumet Avenue.
Yeah, so the board may recall, this is that property that we discovered kind of in between the old Mercantile Bank and, the corner where there's like 6 or 8, I forget how many, Nick.
Yeah, there's 4 residential.
Four apartments.
Didn't even know it was there.
Didn't know it was there.
Shouldn't be there.
Right, so where are we at?
Yeah, so the inspector and I, we performed the inspection back in September. We realized that there was a contract purchaser of the property from an LLC. So both parties were noticed of the action that was taken. However, what we'll do is the inspector's out of the office till February on maternity leave to help with his new baby. And then the contract purchaser is out of the country until February as well. So we were hoping to set this over until February 16th, where all parties can be present to present the case for the removal of the apartments.
Yeah. Just for status, right? For status?
Yeah, it would be for a hearing.
A hearing?
Yeah, if we could set the hearing of notice violation over to February 16th.
Okay.
Okay, I will make a motion that we approve to set the hearing, what is it?
Notice of violation.
Notice of
Yep.
violation hearing for February 16th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
What's that date?
February
February
16th.
No,
For
for
hearing.
hearing.
For hearing, yeah. Yeah. Letter B, status for 843 Logan Street.
Pictures taken this morning.
Where are we at? They building without a permit or?
No, they signed a rehab agreement for the property. They did pull a permit to do some exterior work and also work in the basement. They've started repairing the porches outside and removed the stairwell on the east side of the property. They haven't called for any inspections yet, though, but, so I'm not unaware if anything else has gone on inside the property.
So this reason this was up for status was the rehab agreement was nearing its end date. And so I think what we need to do is, are you in touch with the owner?
I haven't. I can check with Mr. Luter and see if he's talked with him since, because he hasn't gotten any inspections yet or nothing. So he hasn't talked to him since he did the demo inspection and the rehab agreement.
Okay, so what we'd like to do is probably set this over for status for a month. Allow time for Mr. Luter to determine whether or not we want to renew the rehab inspection. Renew the rehab agreement, which I'm assuming he's going to say yes, and then we'll get some new dates.
Can we use that February 16th date for status date? Okay.
I will make a motion that we set this property for status for February 16th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, number 11, rental registration hearings. I see none. There is.
It would appear Mr. Wozniak is here on 1443 173rd Street. So previously these properties were reset for today. This is a single-family home property which Mr. Walczak had taken ownership of in October of 2021, I believe. Yeah, October 5th, 2021. According to the water records, bills were mailed to a Whiting address on 119th Street until a tenant came in October of 2022 to sign up for service. However, after the water department accepted that deposit, the check came back NSF, and then they went out to shut the water off. So it would be the city's position that Mr. Walczak owes for rental registration fees of 2021 and 2022, and in that event, I would recommend sending the property to Kevin Smith or Smith Sursick's office to negotiate a settlement agreement for the amounts owed. There's also a homestead tax exemption still applied to the property address.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Vance Walczak. I'm the property owner of 1433 173rd Street. October 1st, 2022 was my first time renting the house out, so I had a tenant switch utilities over into their name. I did get in contact with the water department. I believe I had an outstanding balance of like around $270-something, and I could pay that today if necessary. But I was here for the rental registration to see about getting that fee waived, because I didn't know I had a 30-day period to come and get the registration to put onto the house.
Well, 2021's in question. Was it, you didn't rent it in 2021?
No, I purchased it with my VA loan. October of 2021, and then October 1st, 2022, I rented it.
Okay, so for a year, it just was vacant?
No, I lived in it.
You lived in it? Okay.
Yes.
So if he lived in it from 21 to the end of 22, he would have just had to file the affidavit to show that he lived there, so it wasn't a rental. So really, it's just from, to me, 21 doesn't seem to be an issue.
No. And then, so if it's just for 22, we were only talking 3 months.
So then, if you'd like, you can submit the affidavit downstairs to cover the time frame prior to his tenant moving in, and then we can make a decision on the registration.
And I'd like to make sure if we can make that decision that way, and why don't we let him then register for 23 and we release him so he could pay 22 and 23.
So we need an affidavit for 21, and we need to complete the paperwork to remove the Homestead Act?
Correct.
Homestead exemption, sorry.
I can provide him downstairs.
Okay. So
So are we waiving?
I'm inclined to waive 2022. If it was both years, then maybe we'd have an issue. But so, yeah, we'll waive 2020. Mr. Walczak, you realize that this is the waiving the late fees is a courtesy. So please make sure that it doesn't happen again going forward. You have till April 15th of every year to apply. So make sure you do that on a regular basis.
Okay, so April 15, 2023, I'm good for this year?
I would assume you can probably pay that, yeah.
Yeah, so the decision that they're going to make now is for the time frame of October 22 to December 31st. And then you would have to register for 23 before April 15th of this year. I would just request an updated phone number, the one that Water Department has, came back disconnected.
Okay.
And then, so we'll get you the form downstairs, just make sure all the current information is up to date, okay?
Sounds good.
Fill out for both, fill out for 22 and 23.
Correct.
Okay, so basically, we need to ask for an affidavit for 21 to remove the homestead exemption, and we're waiving the late fee for 2022.
So two different forms, though. Affidavit for 21,
Yes.
when he lived there.
Remove the homestead.
Remove the homestead exemption
The
form.
registration for 22,
Gotcha,
and then for 23.
gotcha.
Okay. I will make a motion that as long as the client removes the homestead, fills out the affidavit for 21, and registers 22 and 23, we will waive the late fees
For 22.
for 22.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Bless you, by the way. Ayes have it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, Mr. Walczak.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public would like to speak? Or is there's no more? Nick, that was the last? Correct. That's registration. Meeting's open to the public if anybody would like to speak. Okay, entertaining.
Okay, I will make a motion that we adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This was a